So in the last class our concentration was on how we can start understanding where your system actually begins in the process and how exactly it starts moving on. So it's a process that has started around 1960s and it just continues on the process. Now as far as the applications are concerned, you should always understand one thing. What we were thinking in storing the data by a particular format in 1960s, we are not doing anything different, anything separately that looks too complicated and too different from the way it was in 1960s. The only thing is our methodology of analyzing the data has changed in the last 50 years. Why? Because wherever we felt that this particular type of data structure may not be looking suitable for managing certain kind of data as far as the application is concerned, there we extended the research and we made the things go in a more better way. That's what was happening. So what I generally try to say is, until we do not understand the rule of the system and the way the data gets produced, there's no meaning doing any kind of technology in the form of databases. Now, I don't say that you can't learn your databases by a language or one technology that is kept in front of you. Now, learning is not the main aspect of what I concentrate. Implementation is the main aspect of what I really try to put as a pressure. Why? Because once you come into my system, you have to implement what I am expecting from you. I will give you one system and I'll explain the system with all the problems it may be containing, and you should be a person who should pull the solution out of it. So, time and again I always say throughout my course, don't give your mindset into the concept of a learner. If you are sitting with a mindset of a learner on that side, managing you as a trainer on this side is very easy for me. But you are keeping in the mind, you are keeping a mindset of you want to implement, you want to give solutions to the world to the problems what the client is fundamentally having. Then we both will have a very challenging discussion and we both will have a very wonderful output out of the entire process of this particular course. Now, you just watch very carefully in all these particular 4 levels I gave you. Can you tell me which particular component in all these 4 levels is catching your attention? And it's already more than 48 hours, or no? So I think you could have been really doing some kind of work on this. So in this whole lot of the process, what you are seeing in those 4 stages, can you tell me anything that has been eye-catching to the process? Any particular word that you think that it was more technically important in this entire construct? I said a word. So anytime we are a database developer, our entire concern should be data. Are you getting me? Our entire concern should be data. So that's where I was always very practically speaking with in the last class. Catch a real-time business organization that is in operation and you have to concentrate on the data and you have to make it get converted into what? Information. That is our final goal. Your goal as a database developer is very simple. Catch the data from the system, understand the business process and make it get converted into what? Information. So, for all this to happen, we need to understand certain things now. You are getting some fundamental idea. I don't say that you have become extremely intelligent in 2 days to understand databases. But I can definitely say that you got some kind of idea like what we are trying to think from this particular classroom. I don't think if you are a first time beginner into IT side, I don't think the amount of confusion you had on the first class, before we started the first class, I don't think you have the same level of confusion. Now, some things are getting clear, not everything I can say, but some things are getting clear. Okay, I will think like this, I will do like this, it started here, it is ending here. These kind of things are there now. Our expertise is not questioned here, but I think we are not as ignorant as we were in the first class. That's how day by day our journey continues. We become definitely moving towards the industry. You don't worry about that. Keeping you at par with the industry and its requirements is my responsibility. Following through the process is your responsibility. So let us catch the system and data flow. You are just following me as my diagram is going. I already said in the last class, I'm repeating. Don't need to draw any diagrams. Please don't waste your time drawing the diagrams, writing anything on the screen. Only concentrate by watching the screen. Sir, if I miss any diagram, nothing you will miss, everything will come in your mailboxes. You will be having everything what I discuss on the screen and everything in your mailboxes with a span of maybe 2-3 days of gap, that's all. But we will send you. Anything if it is essential, I only will tell you, please take it. Why? Because you start putting your head into your book, you miss the concentration of listening. By the time you listen or by the time you raise your head and you start listening, I'll complete many number of aspects. So just be in contact with my process. Are you catching the point? No, that's very important. Anyhow, I told you to record the sessions as audio. When you're listening once again, you'll recollect everything. Don't worry about that. Okay? So let us just catch a system in data flow. Anytime you're working in the process, we have a system on top of anything. We definitely have a system on top of anything in the real time. Without catching a system, you should never do any kind of work. That's the first principle what a database management system developer should develop. We will never speak for anything that is non-realistic in the world. Therefore, a database management system developer should never make himself get encouraged to speak anything that is virtual by nature. Imaginative, we call it as. I was thinking like this. No. Are you thinking to the reality of what it is existing? I thought like this. No. What your thoughts, are they looking nearest to the implementation of the reality or not? We don't work on imaginatives. First understand this. Are you catching the point? Because a system is something that is an activity of execution. When a system is in the activity of execution, it definitely produces only real-time data. So where is artificial data here? Therefore, all database management system developers, they are only concentrating to the system that exists first. So whenever you take a system into your hands, there are two components that will come into the system. A system should definitely contain minimum these two components. Any other components are okay, but minimum these two components if a system is not having, then we cannot call that as a system. So what are they? On one side, a system should be a collection of objects. On one side, a system should be a collection of objects. Which kind of objects? That is very important. A system can have multiple different number of objects. So which kind of objects we have to consider? An object that is essential to the requirement of your particular circumstance. An object that is essential to the requirement of your circumstance. That is the object you need. See, you want to go from one place to another placement. You want to go from one place to another place. Now, you have taken a decision that you want to go from place X to place Y by walking. Now, I don't think you are thinking of any third party object for you now. You are just coming out of your house, you started walking on the road. Because you are just having an interdependency for yourself. But suppose like you want to go from a place called as X to Y. And you have to definitely take some transportation object for that. It can be an auto, it can be a personal vehicle, it can be a cab, it can be a bus, it can be a train, it can be a flight or anything. Now let us say like, you want to go from a place called as X to place called as Y, you have to come definitely into the system where the transportation is possible. Means as an object, you have to enter into the system where the transportation is possible. Sitting in your house, you are saying that I want to go to a place from X to Y. Now if you sit in your house, you cannot go. You have to come out of the boundary of the system called as what? House. You are an object there. And you have to come on to a particular area of the system called as what? A particular context. It can be a road or it can be some transportation system. Means an object should always dynamically move from one system to another system according to its circumstance. according to the situation. So technically, once you came onto the road, you are one of the objects who want to travel. So you are looking for another object in the system called as travel with respect to either it is an auto or it can be a cab or it can be a bus. You are looking into that object that is comfortable for you. Therefore, a system is a collection of many objects. But which object is essential for you to execute your requirement of the situation, those objects only you will concentrate. Those objects only you will try to adapt. Therefore, a system can have any number of objects, but which object is essential for us to complete that process is important for us. And on the other side, a system will have a set of events. Events means what? Activities that are conducted to make the system to look dynamic. That is an event. So, you just try to understand, for every object to be dynamic in that particular system, it should have one or two events what it can execute. So, you have to understand these things in reality first of all. See, there are two constructs. Let us take our own classroom, let us say. A student is having a requirement of learning one database, and we are having the facility to provide that particular database as a training. We both came together into one system called as what? Classroom. We both traveled, no doubt about it. Now, you came physically and you are attending this session. I am having many number of my students on the other side throughout the globe, sitting in different places of the world, and they were also in a demand saying, sir, we also want to listen to the databases. Then there are only two aspects now. Either I should travel physically to their system, or they should travel physically to my system, and we both should be part of one system now to make the event to happen. Event is what? Conducting the database class. It's the event. Now when few students said that, so we cannot make a travel of coming to your particular system physically. Then I also said that I cannot make a travel physically to come into your system to conduct the same event. Then we got into one compromised activity and we took one medium called as internet, and we are connecting with one another on an online process. Now system is logical or system is physical now? Logical. That is what we have to develop now. Are you catching the point now? Object is logical or object is physical now? Logical. Object is also logical. How, sir, how you can say object is logical? I am having so many number of students sitting on the other side, let us say. I am not able to see them, but I am only able to know them logically by their name or connectivity of the icon. I believe that this name or the email is the object of a student on the other side. So I am believing the object by what? Tell me now. I am believing the object by what? Data. I am believing the object by data. As human beings, we are mostly associated with what? Physical objects identity. Are you catching me? As human beings, we are mostly associated with what? Physical objects as identity. I think this is what we learn from our schools and colleges, yes or no? But when you come into the reality, an object is what? Logical by nature. An object is always logical by nature. An object is just represented by the data. So once the data comes to you and you can believe it, that is an object for you. Try to understand these things. So those people who are sitting on the other side of the world, they are not physically trying to see me, but technically they are experiencing me, because logically my voice is flowing to them. Logically my screen is visible to them. Means I am making my physical presentation to them in the form of what? My voice and my screen. So once my screen is presented and once my voice is visible, voice is audible, they are believing that trainer is there. Now what is the guarantee that trainer is there or his pre-recorder is recording and it's playing? What is the guarantee that the trainer is physically sitting, or the trainer is keeping the previous recorded voice and previous recorded screen and is presenting. That's how when you come to the logical world, technologically, we have some kind of fundamental confusions. Now, the moment I said this, if any of the person sitting on the other side is getting that confusion, let us say, what he could be doing now? He could be putting his query into the chat box, asking like, are you sure you are sitting there or not? So, if suppose say like, one of my trainee is putting some chat box message saying that, now I got a doubt whether it is a live session or it is a offline or it's a non-live session now. That question came in now. Now the data is what now? The data is an object that is questioning me from the other side. Now that object expects what? I cannot travel in the network and go and show my face and come back now. That is not possible. So I will also speak with him in which way now? Tell me. Logically I will be working. I will be working by saying, yes, I am conducting the session live. So what I am sending them? Tell me. Data. Once the data goes there, they will understand that, oh, I asked a dynamic question. If suppose the session is not a live session, this answer will not come so dynamically now only. So he's believing me. What is the guarantee that I have never created a robotic process and I have kept it which is intelligent to understand the question also? So that's what is the world in near future with artificial intelligence system. That is what is the world we will see, where today already we have, you connect to few websites, you'll get a chat engine immediately. How many times you know that they are robotic chat engines? If suppose Hewlett-Packard is there, Hewlett-Packard is dealing with certain kinds of business deals. It sells laptops, it sells desktops or XYZ, these products are there. Do you agree with me? Now, from last 20 years, many number of customers were chatting with Hewlett-Packard. Do you agree with me? And they were asking certain kind of standard questions only regarding the problem what they had in their computers. Am I correct? Now, how Hewlett-Packard cannot have some data in combination in all these 20 years and catch which particular type of words in which combination people when they ask, what answer the chat engineer should provide. If they have a database, say like one question came like, what are the models in HP? What are the models in HP? Why somebody, a human being, should sit and type them? Well, this is a very common question. In 20 years, 2 million people could have asked the same question. In 20 years, if 2 million people could have asked the same question, then definitely we could have given some similar answer every time. And models that are provided by HP are available in its database now, yes or no? So can't I design one small robot that can understand this message and go and automatically contact the database, execute a query, get the model number and the model name which are latest in the database, and the query gives the data and immediately the chat engine will show that these are the latest models. The next generation world of artificial intelligence or cognitive thinking, what we are expecting, is only because of people like you who are really taking the responsibility of understanding the data. So everything is logical for us. Being a database developer, you don't understand these things. At later stages, you will get into trouble. Initially, you don't have any trouble because I can manage you. Therefore, system is always a collection of what? Objects and events. And these objects and these events are what? Circumstantial and situational in their priority. Circumstantial and situational in their priority. So these objects and events are always interactive or non-interactive? Interactive or non-interactive? Interactive. Objects and events are always interactive. Why? They are operating to the boundary of the system. They are operating to the boundary of the system. So these objects and events, they always interact with one another. You cannot expect objects and events to stay without interaction to the system. So what is the example? See, you are staying in your house. Your house is one system or it's not a system? It's a system. You are one of the object in that system now. You are participating in multiple events in your house or only one event. Multiple events by time. So like at 8 o'clock your mother called you, please come for breakfast. Your mother is one object, your house is a system, and you are the other object having breakfast at the event. Do you agree with me? Now where to have the breakfast? That's the next question that came. Means you are putting a question to the system, where to have my breakfast? So you told your mother, you are busy in your particular room, and you told your mother, please get my breakfast here. Your mother said that I am also too busy than you. Please come and take your breakfast and go. These are communicative standards for objects to associate and execute an event. And you told your mother like, if you can get me the breakfast in my room, I'll have it, else no. Your mother said that I am also very interested that you don't need to have any breakfast because I am also busy. If you like, you come and take it and go. Else it's your fate now. In another 10 minutes, your time for having the breakfast will complete. If you're not having it, the breakfast session is closed for today and get ready for the lunch only. In between, if you ask me breakfast, I'll break your bones and give in your hands. Then it's your decision to have your breakfast or not, because she was very clear with her protocol and you were very clear with your requirement. Because every object in the system has its own priority in its interaction. So, your interactivity of the objects are not there, then technically the system becomes what? Dead. The system becomes dead. So, we want a live interactive system or non-interactive system. We are expecting interactive systems or non-interactive systems. Interactive. We have to build interactive systems to the world. Simple things in your life, I'll tell you. You went into one restaurant. See, what happens if systems are not correct? You went into one restaurant to have your some kind of breakfast or lunch or dinner. You went and sat on the table now. That is a restaurant in which you are served at the table. The protocol of the restaurant is you are served at the table. You sat on your table and nobody is coming to your table now. Are you not slowly getting irritated? And you find few people just calling the steward and saying that I'm already here, boss, it's 5 minutes, you didn't attend me. There are other kind of people, different people have different reactions now. The third kind of guy will be there who will be overturning the table directly and saying that, my aya dekho. Finally, the question is what here? Interactive state has been missing, therefore the object's reaction was different. Now suppose say like you sat on a particular restaurant, you went into one restaurant, sat in one place, nobody is coming to you. And it is a self-serviced restaurant. And you are calling some guy and saying that, my aake baida, he says like, sab log aake baithte hain, kya karna hai? Then you got irritated now. You are saying that, don't you take order? We don't take order, you should give the order, take your plate and go and eat for yourself. Thank us because we are telling you not to clean the plate. That's another kind of system. So system to system, the object and interactive states are adjusting or no? As a database developer, we have to understand this logical flow first of all. Later on your language can do what wonders time tells you. Therefore, you take a system as a collection of objects, system as a collection of events. To see the system live by its nature, they start interacting. Whenever the objects and events are interacting, what happens? What happens? Can you tell me? The objects and events, when they start interacting, they produce the data for conducting the business operations. So why an object should interact with an event? Why an event should be associated with an object? Because there is one business operation. So without a business operation, no object will try to enter into any system. No event will execute without keeping in mind the necessity of the object with business operation. So every system is designed for which purpose? To conduct some business operations. Relevant to the business operation, the corresponding objects and events will participate. Therefore, we people are not sitting in this class for just learning SQL. We will learn SQL and PLSQL like all the people they should learn. But do we know the reasons why we are learning them? So, do you think that I need these reasons when I am learning it? If you are in college, I will definitely tell you, you don't need to know the reasons. If I am the same faculty training you in your college, I will never tell you all these things. I will say first chapter SQL. SQL means S is structure, Q query, L language. So language means what? One student will ask a question. Language means it's a language. Now sir, what is that language? English is one language. Hindi is another language. India has many languages. So this is also one language. You are also happy, we are also happy because you are only happy because ठीक है आंसर मिल गया एग्जाम में लिखने के लिए. यू आर ओनली थिंकिंग लाइक 5 मार्क्स आएगा कि नहीं. वी आर ऑल्सो वेरी हैप्पी बिकॉज वी विल थैंक द स्टूडेंट ऑल्सो. ही डिडंट आस्क मी मोर क्वेश्चंस एल्स इट कुड बी प्रॉब्लम फॉर मी ऑल्सो. नो दैट्स फिनिश दैट्स वे. बट यू कम टू द इंडस्ट्री एंड यू कांट बी लाइक दैट. Consciously every day you should keep it in your mind. You are sitting in this class only for the sake of the industry. So we cannot take the subject the way we took there. You have to change yourself and transform yourself. So we are always part of the system only for which reason? We are part of the system only for which reason? Conducting the business operations. We are a database developer only because we want to develop a system that can understand and execute the business operations. Therefore, you come and tell me, I can create one table. I don't feel excited. Why? Because if you are a database developer, you have to create a table. But do you know why you should create the table? Can you tell me the business operation under which that table has to be created? Can you tell me your table represents which object of your business operation to your system and the client? For what purpose the table will respond in which event at what time? These all things, if you are not answering, definitely you are going to be a failure when you are dealing with your databases in industry. So whenever you execute business operations with the help of interaction of the objects and the events, automatically one of the questions that arises, what happens? What happens when the business operations are conducted? So whenever the business operations are conducted, automatically data is generated. Every business client in the world, is definitely very, very concentrative on that data. Why? Because the data that is generated only will make me develop better systems and best systems to the world. The data that is getting generated is the only thing that tells me whether I am running my business properly or not. So every businessman in the world will try to design the system in such a way that every single event in the business should be definitely registered, definitely should be projected, definitely should be analyzed to know the system in a better way. So technologically, the data that is getting generated is very important, and being a database developer, you will play the total game in your career only with that particular data. Your whole career is only in understanding the best form of that particular data to give best solutions to that real time. Therefore, how best you are understanding Oracle, how best you understand SQL and PLSQL is a mild concentration from me. Why? Because you understand your SQL and PLSQL is not too important. You can apply that SQL and PLSQL to get the system in real time or not. Understand the difference of your focus from your general academics to what industry expects from you. Therefore, if any student says that I am sitting in this class to learn SQL, I once again discourage you, don't say that. It's not a correct term for technical existence of you in this particular industry. You should only say one thing, sir, I am sitting in this class to learn how to implement my SQL and PLSQL to what the demand that the industry raises. So once this data gets generated, what we have to do now? Immediately we can analyze the data, certain circumstances, but certain times we cannot analyze the data immediately. So the main important thing that comes is the best question that arises, what I should do with this data now. So the main thing you should always do is store and secure the data that is generated. We should have one system now. We should have one system in such a way that whenever your business operations are getting conducted and it is producing the data, do you have a platform or an architecture where this data can be seriously stored, secured as it goes on getting generated? So why? Why? Simple thing you should understand is no businessman in the world will conduct the business without analyzing his current what he is doing with the past what he has done. That cross comparison only tells him what in future he has to do. I'll give you a simple example, okay? Let us take a simple example. Even the tea vendor on the roadside tea stall also has his own simple database. Database doesn't mean that it's on computer and some monitor now, okay? Database is any orderly arrangement of the data is a database. You watch carefully one tea shop vendor's activity every day. This is interesting now, okay? Generally students will say, sir, I'm thinking of becoming a software engineer. Why the hell I should go and look what tea vendor is doing now? You're going to be a software engineer, but don't worry now, I'm not going to make you become something else now. But without understanding systems in the world, how you can be a good software engineer? Our software engineers are developing any projects and programs for any particular aliens in another planet? No. We are producing softwares to do the business for our own human beings in our own planet. You don't understand in and around your systems, what wonders you will do. So we have to understand systems first of all. You watch his lifestyle. Early in the morning, the moment he opens his tea stall, he does some activities. He'll never start preparing the tea immediately. You watch carefully. He purchases 100 packets of milk, but he doesn't keep and starts heating all 100 packets at the same time. He will keep 97 packets in the refrigerator, takes 3 packets and keeps them on the desk, and then he will take one particular utensil where the size of the utensil is always standard. Then he'll cut the packets and keep them on in the utensil. Then he may be having 10 kgs of tea powder. He'll never keep all 10 kgs tea powder with him. He'll be having one small box with him. And he will every day, what he does is, if this box is containing tea dust yesterday's, he will keep that once again in the main bag, and then he'll take a spoon or something and he will try to take the tea by counting it. He'll just take something like 30 spoons. 30 spoons he will count and take it into this. Why you should count? You'll never understand his analysis. That's the reason until I don't become a tea vendor, I cannot design a system for tea vendor. That is called a system analysis. So you ask him why you are counting. He throws the tea dust into the bag and he takes it. You ask him what a kind of fool you are, man. Already it is there. You could have taken something. He says like, no, let me do my business. You'll never understand. So he took some 30 spoons now, he kept the cap and kept aside. Then he will take the sugar, which is a very important ingredient now. The sugar also he will try to once again take it from the bag and he'll fill it and keep it in one side. Then suppose like there are multiple different flavors of teas now. Second that all the things are done. Now the next thing is the fuel. You watch, he'll take the cylinder that is available and he'll lift the cylinder and he'll keep it once again down. We'll never understand why he's doing that particular job. He's checking the average weight of the cylinder, how much it is. Because of his experience, he knows, lifted, 3 kg hai. So he is very clear, with 3 kgs of gas, how much amount of tea I can prepare. It's an investment, it's not something like he's doing social service there. And after all this is completed, then he watch carefully, he'll keep a stack of cups beside him. He will be having much lot of cups there, but he will take one stack of cups, keep them in your particular, that polythene cover and keeps it there. And then he starts preparation of the tea. Means it's very clear. With this tea powder, with this milk, with this amount of sugar, I should definitely sell minimum 100 cups. If I sell these 100 cups out of this quantity, then I will be having, suppose say like 10 cups of profit is mine. 10 into 7 rupees means 70 rupees of profit I have if I can prepare this. The reason you ask him extra cup, he never gives extra cup from this main stack. He'll take the cup from somewhere else and he'll give you. Why? Because discount he doesn't want to miss. That is the sequence he has created. And then he will be giving you the tea. As the tea is going on moving, he has very clear calculation. For few people 2 ml less, for few people half ml less, this less will be there now. And all this is calculation for him. All these 100 cups are completed, but tea is left over. That is bonus for him. He'll check how many number of extra cups he has sold than these 100 now. This is some small database he has. He may not have a computer with him, but he is definitely generating the data with every cup he is selling, and he is trying to stock and store that particular data maybe in his brain, or maybe one book may be there. In that particular book, you generally watch few vendors. They will be having some horizontal and vertical lines generally. Whenever the teas are sold, he will cut those lines. Means he is having his database. 100 cups are completed. What is my actual amount of money that is collected? This comparison he will do with tomorrow once again. These are certain standards. He is also having peak time, non-peak time. He is also having in his business. Early in the morning, how many teas I can sell? By 10 o'clock, what will be the demand? By afternoon 1 o'clock, what will be? When I can have less number of customers, when I have peak number of customers. These are all calculations with him. A small tea vendor is definitely trying to establish a system where you may not find a computer with him, that's all. So who says that systems are only because of computers and databases are only softwares? We are misunderstanding, we are exaggerating. Therefore, first you understand any system and you can plan one storage architecture for your data with high level security, then you will think anything else. As my business is growing, increasing, then what I will do now? I'll think how I can computerize this particular process, because my business needs speed and consistency and accuracy. So such a customers who are having this system in the world, catch my words carefully, such a customers are already having this kind of system in the world, but they are thinking that their system is too complicated, critical, and it is very large, and manually they cannot manage the data very perfectly. They will come and contact you, asking you to develop a system that can design a storage architecture called as DBMS environment. Therefore, without understanding an existing business and its operations, just because I have a skill in my hands, if I say that I can develop good databases in the world, it's exaggeration. Every time you are working in the industry, first keep that in your mind, you are working for one rich, large and complicated business client. The client's business events and objects in interaction, if you cannot understand, you can't do any wonders because of your software what you have learned. Sending you out of this class with that software is very easy for me, but your industry is not accepting you. That day only you will come to know what is the gap you had and what we missed from the classrooms. But by that time, the time is too late. Why? Because I will start another batch and I will tell the students once again syntax definition and an example, and I am making them get ready. So you cannot roll yourself into these kind of systems where a simple amount of syntax and 2 examples are your target now. Remember that. With every example you take, you should understand your example can make you think in building this right side flow what I gave you. If this right side flow of the system is not clear to you, no wonders you can do in your database management systems. So database management system is one kind of environment. This environment is for the purpose of organizing and arranging the data that is coming from the business environment of the client with proper identification of the objects and identification of the event in interaction. Be very, very clear about that. So that data, if we don't arrange and organize very effectively, we cannot understand the operational state of the business after some time. If I cannot understand my operational state of the business, then how I can make a growth in my business now? Therefore, are all business people in the world are dynamically successful or they are not successful? They are not successful. See, Cape Coffee Day also does the business of Portman serving the coffee. Yes or no? A coffee vendor in this particular street also will serve the coffee only. But why the hell you are giving 150 rupees for the coffee mug in Cape Coffee Day, and why you are trying to pay to the same Cape Coffee Day or same coffee what you are taking in the street somewhere around 10 rupees? And suppose you have your coffee every day in the street for 10 rupees, let us say. One day you went and the gentleman said, "Sir, aaj se 11 rupiya ho gaya." Then you immediately start bouncing on that guy. You say, how it can be 11 rupees? मैंने 1 रुपया क्या समझ रहे हो? चुप में आ रहा है क्या? पकड़ में कितना मेहनत करते हैं हम लोग इन ऑल दिस, इसलिए आज के लिए 10 रुपया ले लो, कल से देखेंगे. Why don't you bargain in Cape Coffee Day when he says 150 rupees? 150 rupees? Why don't you ask like that? Why? Because that guy will give you a cup of coffee with a small smiley in that, no? On top a small smiley will come. Happy day, Cape Coffee Day. 150 you will give, another 20 rupees tip. And you will see whether all the people are looking at 20 rupees or not in the Cape Coffee Day. And few people are there, give tip and take a selfie also. Put it in Facebook. 20 rupiya IC de diya. Why even? What is the difference? That is what is called as corporate business and non-corporate business. That's where the difference comes. You are handling rich clients in the world. You go and tell the same person on the street side saying that I have learned database perfectly, man. हर दिन आके कॉफी पी रहा था, एक डेटाबेस बना के दे दूंगा तुझे. And that guy will say like, sir, ये कौन सा कॉफी है? And you tell him, नहीं, कंप्यूटर होता है, उसके अंदर एक डेटा होता है, टेबल होता है. He says like, sir, ये कुछ पता नहीं, हमको यही पता है बस. खिला के दे दो. Understand, okay? That's what I'm saying. There is something that makes the businessman rich in the world. The businessman who understands the importance of the data and he organizes the data, that business you always watch, it goes more rich, more identified. You just need to understand this particular factor. So, we are the people who arrange, organize and analyze the data for the client. and tell him every event we will tell him. In the month of January, your business can be done like this. In the month of February, it should be done like this. We are giving him patterns now. How we are able to give that? But we are not just sitting in this class to learn some insert statement or some. That's what I'm saying. You keep a mind of, I want to learn database. You are the most easiest people for me to handle. You're keeping a mind that I have to design solutions for the world with a database. We both have to face the challenges. So, there is something different to experience a database. So, once this data goes into the database management system environment, what we should do? Is it only for storing and securing? What I'll do with that storing and securing of the data? What data is logical? If I store and secure it, what wonders will happen? That's where the actual reality starts now. From there, the actual database developer's life starts. This stored and secured data, what we have to do? The biggest question is what we have to do with that stored and secured data. We will start querying and analyzing the data. Client cannot understand the rule of analysis. He does his business. He does his business. He'll just go on doing the business. But we will tell the client now, because of doing the business for last 24 hours, you collected so much amount of data and you are having this kind of 24 hours pattern of the data for last 1 year. Means you are having 365, 24 hours data pattern with you. Now I can analyze this data for you now and tell you in which day, at which time, with what kind of client you did your business in which way. I can give you the pattern. What is the advantage of this? Now I can tell you as a database developer who are your best customers, who are your loyal customers, who are your rich customers, who are qualitative customers, who are time-based customers, who are situational customers, who are regular customers for you. I can tell you now. According to that, you divide your business now. You have a rich customer. He is not concentrating on the cost of your product. He is only concentrating on the quality of the product. Now you have been developing a product all these days, coffee only. Now categorize the coffee. Tell that this is a coffee, this is something, give a name for it. And then tell that its cost is 10 rupees more than that. There are certain customers who don't care the cost but ask you the quality. Tell them, so this particular coffee, what I'm preparing, which is 50 rupees, is from a coffee bean that comes from Assam. This coffee is 50 rupees extra because we get this coffee from Belgium. Now will he go to Belgium and see one? No. And you just try to, he's asked you, one rich customer asks you, what is the proof? Sir, once the coffee is prepared, I cannot show you, but I can definitely show you, this is Assam coffee seed and this is Belgium. Dekho kitna difference hai. Ye phula hua hai, ye nahi phula hai. Categorization has started. Labor cost is same, machine cost is same, my investment of sugar is same, my coffee is same, my milk is same, cup is same. Categorization came, 50 rupees profit came automatically. That's what we will do. We build the world for richness. Database developers will build the world for richness. We build the world for categorization. We classify the world. We make the people to understand that there are differences in everything you try to do. Catching the correct difference, you can have more money for it. This is something that you will experience not by the time the course completes, only time tells you. So how we can be so silly in learning databases now? If we don't standardize the platform, nothing in the world, in the business can look so wonderful. We are the foundation engineers of any application in the world. Be clear about that. Therefore, we don't put that foundation very effectively. No system in the world can look different at any point of time. It's as simple as that, I'll tell you, okay? We have Arvind Mills, which is part of India or it's not part of India? It's part of India, okay? Which only supplies cotton clothes. Indian cotton produced by Indian farmers, okay? Purchased by China. Cotton is purchased by China. Once upon a time, they used to take this raw cotton to their country. They used to convert that into yarn. And they used to sell the other part of the world saying that this is Chinese cotton yarn. But practically cotton is India only. Now, technically once this has converted into yarn, it is getting what now? Export cost. Cleaning cost is added. And all that other ingredients that are there to make the cotton look very shiny, and then they have separated it. The same cotton which is taken by Chinese and becomes yarn comes to Gujarat, where majority of the textile mills are there. Pushed into the looms, power looms. These cotton threads are mixed in a particular order and they are dyed. It comes as a non-dyeing product into India. And then this particular white cotton thread will be dyed in different colors. After dyeing, this cotton product once again goes to China. Chinese will try to put some additional things and make it look shiny. And then they'll pack it once again import it to India. Comes back to one of the cotton mills in Gujarat. That's Arvind Mills, where all your cotton cloth is prepared now. Arvind Mill, once it produces it, it will be sold in the regional market or anything. Immediately from there what happens is, Louis Philippe people will come. They'll talk to the Arvind Mills guy. We want so many number of tons of cotton cloth of these colors. Arvind Mill guy says like, yes. And all this cotton cloth is taken and it's in tons, it's packed. Louis Philippe will take it to their country. At the edge of the cloth, that Louis Philippe logo and the name will come. Packed properly. In their particular country, they will cut the cloth for different sizes. Non-stitched material means unfinished good, we call it as. Comes back into our country. Goes to Coimbatore or Trivandrum side, where we have many number of garment manufacturing industries. People like us, Indians only, in a series of machines we will sit. Cut cloth will come, one person will be there in that, one tailor who is sitting in that company, he knows only how to stitch the right shoulder. His job is only right shoulder, he will never stitch anything in his life now. From the cut cloth, right shoulders will come to this guy, left shoulder will go to the next guy, collar will go to the third guy, in this way a series of people will sit. Now the shirt has to be stitched from select collar. The collar process will start. This guy will be going on putting collar only. This collar will go to the next guy. Then he'll put the shoulder. Shoulder guy will put the hands now. In that way, you go and finally one particular machine will be there where you are cut with the buttons and everything, packed, unfinished good. Once again, watch. Goes to the other country now. Louis Philippe will check the quality standard. Stitched as per our standards or not, cross-verified. Quality testing is done. Then immediately one sleeve will be kept and one logo will be applied, Louis Philippe, packed and sent to India once again. Louis Philippe boxes will be manufactured in Mumbai. And these boxes are manufactured and they go to US once again, printed with the barcode and everything. Box will come back, unboxed, so it's non-finished good. Keep the Louis Philippe into that now, without a cover. Send the boxes once again. Keep one polythene cover, apply the process, tagline and send it as a finished good to India. Everything is India only. Made in America. Okay? If you purchase a Arvind Mills cotton cloth directly in the market, meter 150 rupees to At the cost, it can go for around 300 rupees. And 2 meters is almost enough for anybody, I hope so. Go to the local tailor. He'll cut and he'll stitch and he'll give it to you, where your cloth and your particular shirt is almost all anything around 500 rupees, it will come into your hands. Louis fillet, 2000 rupees, will have it. Sir, all this is what now? Analyzation of data. After analyzing the data, business changes like that. So, that China guy has great information that India will produce cotton. That is only data. Cotton is a physical quantity for you. For China guy, it is only data. He took the data. What I should do with the cotton? He put a question now. I will convert the cotton into yarn. So he converted that into yarn. For us, cotton is data. For him, yarn is information. What I should do with this yarn now? Yarn will be white color, but people need different colors now. Why I should put my color and make my hands dirty? Where this color can be done? Indians are best people in dyeing the cloth. Send to India. Once again he had data where dyeing can be done perfectly. These are certain logical things. It takes a good lot of time for you to understand. But this all information, if we keep in one place, organize it and put it into event, business becomes automation. So we people make the business to become what? Highly automated, more accurate, qualitative and integrated. Therefore, you should understand very carefully, data is not that simple to understand. So are we trying to become SQL, PLSQL developers, or are we trying to become database developers? A very important question for you in my third class. So I want to become SQL, PLSQL developers. What do you do? Tell me. You should become database developers using SQL and PLSQL. You want to only learn SQL, PLSQL, no wonders will happen. 80% students in this market are always failure. I am giving you the statistics very clearly. 20% students are successful. Seeing the success of 20% students, another 100% students will follow them. But in that 100, once again 20 are only successful. 180 people are not successful. Those 80 people are not successful doesn't mean that they cannot see success. They don't know how to go with the technology to see the success. Those 20 people are the only people who understood that what SQL can do in real time. The remaining 80% people, they learned only SQL, but they never understood what to do with that in real time. Until they don't understand what they have to do it in real time, never they can get a good job and no industry will take them. So, sitting in this class, the day one I start my contract, my mind is very conscious. Every student sitting in this class, the moment he leaves this class, he should feel, nobody in the world can stop me now to get into my job and become rich in my life. Your focus is that, I told you in my first class, once again I am saying, we both will feel convenient in this particular classroom. No, then I will be the most typical and complicated person in your life once again. Because my perspective is one side, your perspective is other side. We both cannot do the things properly. And I always say my perspective is correct. Sir, don't you think that you are hypocritic? No. Out of my experience, I definitely know that people should do databases like this only. Then only they will. Sir, many of my friends who did normally also they are working. That's what I want to tell you. As a database developer, you have a 10,000 rupees salary, you have 10 lakh rupees salary also. You are which side? In that graph where you want to be. Sir, I want to become a 10,000 rupees database developer. You don't need to struggle like this. Not necessary. You are something else. I think I'll feel very happy to be with you. Don't compare yourself with your friends, man, because your friends couldn't have achieved anything till now in their life. They also don't know what it is. Let us compare with the successful people who are there in the world, who have done database at peak levels, and what they are doing. I'll give you one person's name. Burleson, he's called as. 85 years most probably he'll be having physically. Anything not less than around 50 to 55 years of experience in databases like Oracle. 1 hour consulting fees is $5,000. Okay, 1 hour consulting. That person never comes and gives solutions. Okay, if you tell him the problem, critical problem is there in your project, you just explain to him. He'll just give a suggestion. Aisa socho, aisa karo, aisa dekho, maybe like this. 1 hour consulting, $5,000 you should deposit. If you struggle for a whole month, you will get $5,000 or not is very difficult. That guy, if he works for 1 hour, he can happily live in his life. But he never achieved that in one single day. Okay? He started slowly. But today he is the most costliest consultant in the world. In his organization as a junior, if you want to join in databases, minimum 12 years experience if you have, he will take. And absolutely the total number of rounds of interviews are 8 rounds on fundamental side. Each round of interview will be 2 to 3 hours. And after that, by the time you make your confirmation, it will be anything around 12 to 15 rounds of interview will be there. Starting pay package he will give, anything in Indian currency, it will be monthly 1 crore. They also did SQL only, no? Those people are also doing SQL only. So you want SQL or you want career out of SQL? That's very important to know. Why I am telling you these things in my starting class is, in the middle of the course I don't want to tell that this is the way you should have your career in databases. If in the initial stages we plan, at least you will decide, I need this or I don't need this. There is a different life when, okay, that query and analysis is not that simple, we'll go to peaks of that in our course, where you can check. We'll reach the peaks of what is meant by query and analysis. Are you ready to take that struggle and strain or not? You should decide from your side. Now this query and analysis, if I do, what happens? Why we should query and analyze? Simple. To understand the system and business in a more better way. Only when I query and analyze, we understand the system and we can design it in a better way. See, you and I both are in questioning to one another. We understand more better or less better? More better. You don't question me and I don't question you. What we will understand about one another and tell me? Either I should be too clear in telling you something, or whenever I am not clear, you should be very clear to question me. We both don't do that, then finally what is the outcome of this particular class, tell me? It's a class, but it's not the best class. But any system is that. You are attending, you are in any system, are you in that system to do the best? That's what is the concept, finish. The best is paid always. The best is paid always. What is the best you are? You will be paid according to that. Like you, 1,000 people will come and say, I am having SQL with me. Why I should give you the best salary? Why I should give you the least salary? Keep the graph very clear, okay? When you see, why Burleson Consulting will conduct around 15 rounds interview? What is the, people ask me sometimes, sir, what is there to ask so much? Let us complete the course, you will also understand. What is there to learn so much? It's too early to understand, no? Therefore, you should understand that the more I question you, the more I get out of you, I understand you more in a better way. Because of that, I'll get a better system. A student who got his job with first round and a student who got his job after 12th round, you take a pay package difference, I am telling you. Job after first round, 2.4 lakhs per annum. Job after 12 rounds, 2.4 lakhs per month. Okay, there is a great difference now. So, after understanding the system and building it in a better way, what we will do? We will design a new system. We design a new system. If the system is in cycle of always being best or not? I'll simply ask you one question then, okay? What was your first mobile phone in your hand? You just try to recollect. Why you are having the smartphone in your hand? In both the cases, communication was same, no? At least we were so happy that small mobile phone was fitting in the pocket. Today, to keep the smartphone, we have increased the size of the pocket. And half of the phone is in the pocket, half is outside. 24 hours mental tension. Juk jaunga to gir jayega. Now, people are not worried like he will fall down or not. He is more worried about his mobile will fall down or not. And in your family, 4 people are there and you are having a mobile phone as a smartphone, 3 members of the family are looking towards the pocket only. Whenever you bend, they'll say, Hoshari se raho. Those people will get a heart attack immediately. And if it is an iPhone, gone. That guy is out. Out of the world also now. If it falls down. So, why then? Why you are spending that money? Why a new version is coming? Why Reliance has taken a decision that from December 1st, no more the old mobiles will work? Simple. I am giving you best services. You throw your all old mobiles and come to the new connectivity. I am giving the best to you. You pay me. We are in 4th generation, not understanding what exactly is 3rd generation mobile. 3G is not known to Indians very perfectly. 4G came. People switch to 4G. You ask them in 4G what did you do and in 3G what did you do? He will say only one thing. In 3G also I was like this only, 4G also I am like this only. No difference. Is 4G is trying to scratch the screen by itself? No, you only should scratch the screen. In 4G also same WhatsApp was there, 3G also same WhatsApp. In 4G is your friend from WhatsApp is coming outside and going inside once again? No. Same thing is happening, no. And in 4G also you have music and 3G also you have music now. You kept the same 2 headsets. In 4G is there anything like you want to listen to the music and automatically your phone will start and headsets will go into your ears? No, you should only keep them. Volume control you only should do. Everything are doing same thing. MP3 is MP3 only. It's not looking something different. No, music is music. Is it adding any extra music for you? Nothing. Then why the hell you are giving so much extra money for 4G? And Japanese are already into 5G. And Nokia like companies are not existing now, but top level companies in mobile, Motorola all are researching at 8G. 8th generation mobiles is in research now. 5th generation is already there in Japan. We are thinking, shall we go to 4G? Some people are getting worried what is 3G. Few people don't know any G also. So many variations are there in the world. Why? You may stop analyzing. Somebody else in the world is not stopping you. People who can analyze, they make money. People don't analyze, they don't make money. Are you in this cycle? By the time you complete this course or not, you check. I'll give you SQL, you don't worry. What more than SQL? What more than SQL? So, the main reason you're sitting in this class, by the time we complete the course, is to understand this. Are you catching me? Where I will keep SQL in which way? You leave it on my shoulders. Sending you as the best database developers out of this class is my job. But sitting and feeling that you want to become best database developers is your job. So only my intentions will never work. Your participation also is very important here. Anyway, it's just 3rd class. I don't think we can pick up good impressions immediately. Slowly we'll add up. So tomorrow when I'm speaking with you, I have a few questions for you and you have to give me some solutions. Our interaction starts. Anyway, we'll see how best the things can be done. Let's see what's waiting for the next 24 hours for us. Thank you once again, tomorrow with you.